This is The Hub on Hollywood. I'm James.
I'm Jamie.
And we love movies.
And there's so many really fun things that we need to talk about, James. There's incredible movies coming to the New England region that are filming this summer. And we want to get you in those films. We want to get you cast. We want you hanging out with Ryan Reynolds and Halle Berry. And we're going to tell you exactly how to do it. And what else are we talking about, James?
So not only are we talking about Ryan Reynolds, Will Ferrell, and their local films in production, apparently, but we're also looking at your film productions that are being made. We talked to the founder, the executive director of CrowdSourced Boston, which is a local community art project where everybody and anybody can throw themselves into their favorite movie, and we'll discuss more on that aspect and their latest announcement, their latest film they're working on. But we're also working on our local casting calls as well as what we're watching. But you did mention, some cool things and some cool, exciting things, and it's the elephant in the room. We have to mention it. Your hair looks amazing.
Yeah,
this
thank
brand
you.
new.
It's a new Jamie.
Now that's made for movies. That's a movie look right there.
I thank you. And there's so many opportunities coming. I'm definitely going to get cast. I'm submitting for all of these, James. And hopefully they like my hair too, because I love it. I'm ready for the summer. I'm going to go see a baseball game today. The wind blowing on my neck. It's going to be wonderful. We're getting closer and closer to the mask mandates being gone and life returning to normal, and we are all here for that, James. Movies have gotten us through, and they will continue to. So let's jump right in to the huge castings, the huge movies that are coming here. Is that cool? Can I jump right in?
Absolutely. And so I know now this hairdo would have been great in the next Knives Out sequel that's coming out. However, we learned that they're not filming here in Massachusetts this year. But we do and are learning more new casting calls in the sequel to the smash hit Knives Out that came out in 2019, I believe.
That's right.
Yeah. And so Daniel Craig, he is reprising his role as the titular character, who's the detective who goes on this solving spree of the original movie. But you know what? His character was so loved and adored by so many that, people wanted to see more. And we are going to be getting more Daniel Craig in Knives Out. But also we find out that we're also going to be seeing a litany, a huge array of faces that a talented cast joining the movie, including Dave Bautista, Janelle Monáe, who was in Hidden Figures, Edward Norton, a big heavy name that's being dropped as a new cast member, as well as Catherine Hahn, who most recently has been very popular recently because of WandaVision, and so that's a big name joining the new cast. But what do you know about them not filming in New England this time around?
Yeah, so very sad. Despite my best efforts of, when I became BFFs with Ryan Johnson, I'm like, Are you going to come back? Are you going to come back to New England? Nope, they are not coming back to New England, but they're filming in Greece. Apparently, a bunch of big films are filming in Greece this summer as well. But it's they're going to be recording in Greece. They're signing on another big name ensemble cast. There were some rumors that Adam Driver might be also signing on, but that is not yet confirmed. However, if that is confirmed, I think I'm going to be flying to Greece this summer. We'll see.
You could be Adam Driver's hand double, I think.
My hands aren't quite as big, but I can find another way to weasel my way in. Absolutely. But how cool is it that we're getting the WandaVision actress?
Catherine Hahn. She's been exploding. I mean, she's been around in the business for years now, but more so, she's getting the attention that she deserves for her talents and her acting skill.
She was just so fantastic. Like her range and everything that she did in WandaVision, it was Agatha all along. So I think you had already made that prediction before we started recording that maybe it's going to be Agatha all along again. In Knives Out too, so early prediction there.
So, I'm really excited to see Dave Bautista. He's coming back now. Dave Bautista, he of course plays Drax in the Guardians of the Galaxy films, and so he's coming back in Guardians of the Galaxy Part 3, of course. But he was also in what was it? He was also in that movie with It was Blade Runner 2049. Now, as Drax, he showed his comedic chops. In Blade Runner 2049, he showed off his dramatic acting ability, and then that led to him appearing in the James Bond movie with Daniel Craig in Spectre. So this is a reunion of Daniel Craig and Dave Bautista, and so it's cool to see, like The Rock, like Dwayne Johnson, make the jump from wrestling into movies. Dave Bautista, he's doing the same thing, and he's landing in these big smash movies kind of right out of the gate, so which is always great to see. Edward Norton, again, I'm a big fan of Edward Norton.
Man,
I think he's up there on one of my top favorite actors. But one other interesting thing about this sequel is apparently it's going to be a part of this two movie deal with Netflix. Deadline is reporting that Netflix closed this deal north of $400 million for the next two installments for Rian Johnson. And so Rian Johnson, of course, the Last Jedi and Knives Out, he himself has his own production company, but it's great to see that Netflix throwing this much money behind a director with this caliber and with this kind of vision in his storytelling. Again, not everybody is the biggest fan for all of his movies, but he is a very talented director, so it's really cool that they're throwing their money at this project with a lot of heavy, big A-list names.
Yeah, no, wishing all the best to Rian Johnson, all the love. I'm a big fan of his portrayal of Star Wars: The Last Jedi and everything that he's done before and since. I think he really deserves it. I mean, maybe not everybody is the biggest fan of him, but he is a good guy. Like, he is just a humble, down-to-earth, like, super talented person, and it just couldn't happen to a better person. I can't wait to see Knives Out 2, Knives Out 3, Knives Out 9, and I feel like every new movie, they're going to have, like, another tremendous ensemble cast, and that's really exciting. So I just hope that they come back to New England. They had a great time here, James. And we've got that film credit. Like, come on, Knives Out 3, Knives Out 4. Like, come back here with us. We miss you.
Speaking of coming back, another actor, another big A-list celebrity actor that's coming back is Ryan Reynolds. This time with Will Ferrell for a movie filming in the Massachusetts, New England region, right?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this one is so exciting, and I've already applied to it. I hope you have too. So, codename Chili. The movie's codename is Chili, but we're learning more information about it, courtesy of the Patriot Ledger and the Braintree mayor, who's so excited that this is going to begin filming in his town. But basically what we know about it is that it's a Christmas movie called Spirited. And it's going to be starring Ryan Reynolds, Will Ferrell, and Octavia Spencer. Octavia Spencer, which is really neat. And it's going to be a musical remake of the Dickens classic, A Christmas Carol. So, it's going to be a Christmas film. And Braintree's mayor was telling the Patriot Ledger the film crews are going to start shooting at the North Shore Plaza in early July, and everything is going to be decorated for Christmas. So this movie is headed to Apple TV Plus, which is going to be wonderful. And it already sounds like it's going to be hilarious. It just already sounds like a masterpiece.
I can't think of a movie where Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell have already played in a film together. So as far as I know, this is their first movie together, which again, both are hilarious by themselves, but throw those two together. In theory, this sounds like a really good movie.
Oh, it is. It's going to be amazing. It's absolutely going to be amazing. And so casting has begun. Casting has begun because they're going to start filming in July. So this is through Boston Casting. If you want to go ahead and sign up for their service, they'll send you all the emails. But in general, right now, they're looking for anyone who's interested in submitting to be a background actor. They want you to send your name, phone number, your age range, your height and weight, and any dancing experience that you have, along with a couple of recent pictures, a tight headshot up here, and then a full body length photo. Doesn't have to be professionally done, and you're going to want to send that to bostoncasting.chilibg, that's CHILIBG, at gmail.com. So, like I said, I've already done this, and I think you should too.
And now this next casting listing it doesn't say which movie it's for, but it's you could presume it may be for the same film, because this casting call is for a speaking role for a younger version. They're looking for a younger version of Ryan Reynolds. So I wonder what movie they could possibly be working on. But
right.
CP Casting, they're looking for boys ages 8 to 11 years old to play a younger version of Ryan Reynolds for a speaking role. Major feature film shooting right here in Massachusetts this summer. This is a well-paid gig, or so they say. But if you are interested, you can send your email, your child's information, including name, phone number, age, height, where you live, acting resume, experience, headshot, everything, recent photos. Send all of that to cpcastingsubmission@gmail.com. They're asking you, don't rush, be sure to include all the information, all the details, all the photos. Send all that to cpcastingsubmission@gmail.com.
Great. Another big film that's coming this summer, James. Halle Berry. Halle Berry is on her way back to us, on her way here to New England. So she has signed on to star in and executively produce a film called The Mothership. We're hearing that this is a family-friendly sci-fi film, and it's going to be going to Netflix. So she is... She's bringing on the Oscar-nominated screenwriter of The Bridge of Spies, Matthew Charman. He's writing the script for this. He's also apparently directing it, so that's going to be interesting. All we know is that this is coming this summer as well, and the first casting notice is out. This is through CP Casting. This is CP Casting for the Mothership film starring Halle Berry. They are looking for background performers of all ages, and they're looking for people specifically who have stand-in experience, law enforcement experience, and performers who can drive big cars like SUVs, big vehicles, and trucks. So if you're comfortable behind the wheel of a big rig or something like that, this might be the opportunity for you. Anyone who is interested should email tmscasting2021@gmail.com. And they want you to include your name, birthday if you're under 18, height, weight, contact information, and current photos, again, to tmscasting2021@gmail.com, and that is for The Mothership starring Halle Berry, and you get to be friends with Halle Berry this summer. That's exciting.
All right, yeah. Who wouldn't want to be friends with Halle Berry? You can show her around town.
She looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, a lot of fun. Slate Casting. Now, this looks like a lot of fun. Slate Casting, they are casting for a national TV commercial, and they're looking for real lobster men. Lobster men, or maybe lobster women also. I'm not sure, but they say they're looking for lobster men, age 18 to 50 years old. This is a union and non-union gig, again, for a national TV commercial. Now, this is shooting June 7th to the 11th for one day, so potentially 7th through the 11th for one day. But they're looking for people. If you are interested, if you are a lobsterman, send current information, contact information, agents info if you have one. Also, your experience as a lobsterman, how many years you've been doing it, where you work out of, what city you live in. You must be a New England local to be cast for this. But send your photos, send your information to Slate Real People Casting 2, the number 2, Slate Real People Casting 2@gmail.com. You're going to want to submit that ASAP.
Okay. All right. And then we are looking for bilingual kids and adults. This is through Slate Casting. They are working on an upcoming PSA, so they're looking for girls age 5 to 12 and women over the age of 55 who speak English and Spanish. So you're going to want to send a photo, your contact information, any acting experience you have, and the city you live in to slatespeaks@gmail.com for that one.
All right, and my last casting call, this is another Slate Casting. We're looking for female farmers. Are you a female farmer out there? Do you toss that bale of hay over your head every morning? If so, this is for you. I don't know what farmers do. Female farmers, ages 30 to 50 years old, whether you have your own farm or you work on a farm. This is for a national TV commercial as well. This may be related to the whole Lobsterman shoot, because this is shooting for one day on the week of June 7th to the 11th. Again, if you are interested, a female farmer, send your current photo of yourself, information, agent information, your experience as a farmer. Again, how many years you've been doing it, where your farm is, what you grow, what you do, what city you live in. Send all that to Slate Real People Casting 2, the number 2, at gmail.com.
Okay, and then Boston Casting is looking for male actors with an authentic French accent. I don't know if that's offensive. Anyways, so exactly. My husband's last name is French, and that's now my legal last name. And I used to make fun of him all the time for it. I'm like, and now it's my name, so I can't make fun.
It's your burden to bear.
But male actors with an authentic French accent for a television opportunity. It pays $1,000 a day and starts shooting the 1st of June. So if that sounds like you're going to want to send a headshot and resume, contact info, and where you're based to bostoncasting5@gmail.com. And there's so many other opportunities, James. We can't get to them all today. But stick with us. We bring you the biggest ones, and I recommend anyone who wants to spend a day on a film or who wants to, really launch their acting career. Sign up with all of these casting agencies. There's Boston Casting is the biggest. There's CP Casting, Slate Casting, Kendall Cooper Casting. The list goes on. So go out there. We're rooting for you, and hang out with Ryan Reynolds for a day. Hang out with Will Ferrell and everyone else who's coming here to the New England region. Every year the films and the opportunities just get bigger and more so. So that's what's up, James. You gotta listen to the Hub on Hollywood.
Yeah, we're rooting for you, and we thank you for rooting for us. So if you are watching us right now on YouTube, thank you so much. Be sure to give us a like, give us a subscribe, and tell your friends. You can also listen to us on any of the major podcasting streaming services like iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, any major one. We are out there. You can take us out on the road or on a walk with you. You can also follow us on all of our social medias where we do update. We share our photos and what's going on. You can follow us at Hub on Hollywood on Twitter, on Facebook, and on what else do we have? Instagram. You can follow us there.
That's right. But we're still working on the other little social medias. Like we're not quite young enough for some of them. I don't trust all the other social medias. I don't trust TikTok.
That? I don't trust TikTok entirely. People.
Yeah, we're not giving China our information.
I'm not ready to dance for you yet.
We'll get there, maybe.
Yeah, we'll get there maybe. But you know what? These latest casting calls that we mentioned, these are for big-time special feature films, national, large commercials. If that's a little too big for you right now, why not try a little smaller on a smaller scale, but still very impactful? There's this local community art project here in Massachusetts where for the past several years, they've been recreating some of the biggest and most popular movies in pop culture, including Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Castaway, Back to the Future. And so we talked to Al Williams. He's the executive director of Northampton Open Media as well as CrowdSourced Cinema. And this is a really cool project. We talked to him for a little bit. And, without further ado, if you don't mind, let's just go right into this interview with Al and hopefully inspire some potential filmmakers out there. Al, thank you so much for joining us on the Hub on Hollywood.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm happy to be here.
So let's just go right into this because this art project that I recently learned about is unlike any other art project, community art project that I've seen out there. Can you go over CrowdSourced Cinema and what CrowdSourced Boston in particular has been doing, especially this past week?
So CrowdSourced Cinema, CrowdSourced Boston, and actually CrowdSourced Vermont. The project is where we take a feature film and we break it into scenes. Usually it's about 40 scenes. Most films are 40 scenes long. And teams sign up, and over the course of the summer, they remake their particular scene that they have been assigned. And then we take the entire film and we string it together, we edit it together, and we remake the entire film as a community together. So we have a brand new version of whatever film we've chosen. And each team is made up of various kinds of groups of people that gather in different ways. So it could be like families or neighbors, or it's sometimes after school projects. It's every team has really its own story. Every scene has its own story, and it can be done in various ways. So sometimes they're like animation, or they're done in Minecraft, or they're acted out traditionally. There's a lot of different ways that people interpret them as well.
That sounds like so much fun. How long have you guys been doing this, and what kind of films have you done already?
So the first film was in 2015 and was Raiders of the Lost Ark. That was great. You can actually see all these films online. The following year we did The Princess Bride, which is a particularly good film for this. Then we did Back to the Future in 2017, Ferris Bueller's Day Off in 2018, Beetlejuice in 2019, and last year we did Castaway. Given the pandemic, Castaway just seemed like the perfect choice.
Yeah.
So everyone's sort of stranded on their own desert island, and so it's not really as mainstream a film as the other ones, or as popular a film, I guess. It's a very popular film, but and then this year we're doing Jurassic Park.
All right.
Oh, wonderful.
So I was going through the list, and I've been watching the Raiders of the Lost Ark, for example, Castaway, and scenes of Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and I absolutely love it because, as you mentioned, not only is it a wide array of people from the very young to the older, but also you have these people with different skills, whether that's the basic film camera hand holding ability to the animation and the stop motion work. What has impressed you the most when it comes to how creative some of these artists get?
I mean, some of the animation has been really impressive and amazing, because it's like there's been some work that's almost collage like, and it's really wild, and it's completely reinterpreted and revisioned. And if it was outside of the context of the film, it might be difficult to understand what it is. But people really go sort of out of a limb in that way. And then there's other things like, if you watch Raiders of the Lost Ark, the fight scene on the plane, which is an iconic fight scene, they actually went to the local airport and got a plane. It was a bunch of kids, and they fought on the wing of the plane. It was stunning. They slapped a swastika on it. It just felt almost otherworldly. I didn't think it would sort of go that far. And that was the first year we did it. So that was pretty stunning. It's always really interesting to sort of see how things develop. It's also makes it very, the process of selecting a film is very interesting. It's something we've gotten better at, but gets harder every year as we eliminate more films. But, because people are sort of piecing this thing together, all in different scenes with sort of specious continuity, that you have to select films where you can easily recognize the characters, for instance. So Raiders of the Lost Ark, you have a hat and a whip, you're Indiana Jones, and you're good to go. So that was a clear pick for us. And so those are the kind of things that we have to sort of think about when we're sort of designing.
I wonder what kind of graphics we're going to see with Jurassic Park there. And
I'm really hoping to see people dressed in dinosaur costumes. Like, I would love to. I hope that someone goes there sort of and does like a full body dinosaur suit, but who's to know?
That's wonderful. So can you talk to us a little bit about how did this idea come to be? How did it get started?
It was kind of so we run the Community Media Center. So in Boston, it's Brookline Interactive Group is the center of it in Boston. Northampton Open Media, where I'm the director, is the center of it in Western Mass. And then in Vermont, there's a statewide organization that runs it. Jen and Ross are in charge over there. And it's the whole idea grew naturally out of other work we were doing. So we're in the middle of what's called the 7-day film sprint. This is the predecessor to the CrowdSourced Cinema. It's like the 48-hour film festival where people get prompts. They have a week. They make a very short film from scratch, and it's just a creative and fun sort of endeavor. At community media centers, we're trying to teach people sort of fluency in multimedia. And in that process, we recognize that people, you can teach people how to use a camera and teach people how to proper audio and lighting technique and how to edit and produce and direct and all those things. But actually making something is like a totally different skill. And so we wanted to come up with a project that was low risk for people, that presented them with a roadmap, and where the risk of success was, the risk involved personally was very low. People want to be creative individuals and they want to make things. They can imagine themselves making things. But especially as you get older, I think people don't really give themselves permission. Identifying as an artist is almost a kind of a privileged class for people. So this is a way where, I'm just doing this couple minute scene in the middle of a film. The script is already there. I'm familiar with the characters. I feel safe inside of it. And I can be creative with it. And if it's bad, it's going to be over in a couple minutes. There's a scene before me. There's a scene after me. So what's the big deal, right? And it's fun and it's a low investment. And so the hope is that someone can it's an entry point for people to their own creativity. And if they're successful at it, then they can feel comfortable and do something in the future.
Yeah, and adding to the point of this being an entry point for a lot of people, here in Massachusetts, a lot more films, a lot more TV projects are happening now. And I would imagine something like this would be the perfect spot, or maybe the perfect introduction for somebody who wants to dip their toe into filmmaking.
Yeah, I think it's definitely true. I mean, we've had people go on and do other stuff after participating in this. We also have people who do it every year. We also have people that's the only thing they do with us. But in any case, it is a microcosm of what it's like to work in the industry, in the sense of you're struggling to try to figure out how to do this thing, and you're probably under-resourced, no matter how well-resourced you are, and things go wrong. And that's just how it is when if you're a professional in the industry. It's the same kind of thing. You're kind of trying to figure things out and piece it together, and you're scrambling a little bit. And so it's the same kind of experience, really.
Yeah. So James and I on the Hub on Hollywood, we talk a lot about how much we love movies and what they mean to us. What do movies mean to you? What got you into this?
I've always loved film. It's something, there's a certain kind of magic to filmmaking, which I'm sure you guys have talked about extensively, but it's a solitary experience and also a shared experience. That's the great thing I like, about the theater or watching a movie with other people, even if it's in your living room, is that it's collective. It's exciting to talk about. It's kind of, it's that magic circle where anything can kind of happen. And so, and there's also something, it's a very deliberate process, right? It's different from something like music because every single thing you see is focused. It's selected and chosen. So your entire perspective is exactly what the film is about. It's about focusing you on different elements and different paces. And I think it's just a remarkable art form.
And so now, for those that want to get involved, Jurassic Park just announced that that's the next film. For those who want to get involved, where should they go? And I believe they get a whole year, or pretty much a good time, amount of time to work on this, right?
They do. They have the entire summer essentially to work on it, and they can go to crowdsourcedboston.com and sign up there. If you're in Western Mass, you can go to northamptonopenmedia.org. And crowdsourcedvt.com is the Vermont connection.
All right. Well, we usually end the show or end interviews with asking, what are you watching right now? Anything you're watching on TV, on streaming, or any movies recently?
I just finished an animated series called Primal on HBO by Gendy Tartakovsky. The two characters are, I guess, a caveman and a dinosaur, and those are the two leads. It sounds kind of weird, and there's like no dialogue in it at all. It's all about like the looks, and I watched it with my wife, and it was great. It's fantastic. You should check it out. It's a very minimalistic kind of feel, and it's just very emotive in its own way. It's a little dark, but it's really good.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Al, thank you so much for joining us on the Hub on Hollywood. We are going to keep our eye out for Jurassic Park the Art Community Project version. But
Yeah, and
again,
we'll
thank you so
follow up
much.
with you. Yeah, we'll follow up with you when it actually comes out and it's all pieced together. And here's hoping there's plenty of those inflatable dinosaurs running around chasing people. So
Let's
looking
hope
forward
so.
to that.
Yeah, it'd be great to touch base again. And thanks for having me.
All right. So again, thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode of the Hub on Hollywood. Before we leave you, let's just leave you with what we're watching. And I'm not sure if you started watching this yet, but for myself, I started watching The Bad Batch, the latest on Disney Plus. I was a little hesitant because during the last season of the Clone Wars, which they brought back on Disney Plus, they introduced this bad batch of clone soldiers that you know, they have their own various personalities and whatnot. And for me, the slow parts of the last season of the Clone Wars was the parts including the Bad Batch. And so I wasn't really eager when they announced that they're going to have their own spin-off TV show on Disney Plus. But you know, after, you know, you just can't help but notice stuff on Reddit, on Twitter, what's out there. And so the more people started talking more about it and, you know, kind of explaining, they explained the immediate aftermath of the Clone Wars into the Galactic Empire and Darth Sidious running the show and how he started setting up his own new empire. And so, you know, I finally caught onto it, started watching it. And first thing that I was surprised by was how long the episodes are. There's only about maybe 5 or 6 episodes, but each one is over an hour long, or at least the first one or two that I've seen. And so that was a little surprising, but like the Clone Wars, it's pretty good. You know, the animation is very similar to what we saw before, so that hasn't really changed. But the story and them going into the world building of, you know, post Federation, post Republic rather, and then going into the Empire, that's pretty interesting to see that transition. So that's what I'm watching right now. I think next show I'm going to watch is called Jupiter's Legacy, which is another superhero themed show that's popped up on Netflix, and it's getting good buzz, and so I'm getting into that right now.
I've heard a lot about Invincible, which just came out, but I hear that it's very gory and all of that, so I'm a little hesitant to start it, but I do hear good things about it also.
I would say, I haven't seen it, but I would say it's similar to, I guess, when it comes to goriness, like Harley Quinn, the animated series, that's on HBO Max. Very gory. Like, you have a lot of blood, a lot of shooting, and that's part of the humor in it as well. So kind of like an adult cartoon. And so, I think Invincible falls in the same lines where, you know, they're not pulling any punches, and, you know, with a cartoon, unlike in real world superhero movies, they can be, you know, as disgusting and grotesque as they want to, and they get that cover of being a cartoon.
Well, you know what, James? I've been cleansing my palate of all of that. I've been watching some of my favorite Korean dramas. Just the last, you know, feel good stuff, like super romantic. I've been watching what was it, The Princess and the Four Knights, and a few other ones. So I just needed something feel good, a little bit mindless, just, you know, and I love Korean dramas, and I love Japanese dramas so much. So that's what's up. That's what's up in our house right now. That and the Mitchells versus the Machines. My son watches it like 2 or 3 times a day.
That's actually, I'm gonna watch that soon. Because of your fantastic review, now that's on my to watch list.
Oh, it's super cute. Yes,
it looks good.
It's really good. It's really, really good. So I definitely recommend that. And so what are you guys watching? What do you recommend? What do we need to watch next that you want to hear us review? Let us know in the comments. Tweet us, add us, all of that stuff. And we will get back to you in the next episode of The Hub on Hollywood. We love giving shout outs, so go ahead and do that. And until next time.
Yeah. Oh, I was going to add one last thing. I'm so sorry. I got a screener for a movie at the end of this month, and which actually comes in right at perfect timing with my second dose of the Pfizer vaccine.
Woo!
So now that we're on Team Pfizer, Team Get Vaccinated, we're going to be going out to more movie screenings, and so be sure to stick with us on the Hub on Hollywood because, like you said, we're going to bring more reviews. We're finally branching out to the movie theater. I know you are braver than I am, and you went out a few weeks ago, and so, but again, because of your amazing review, I feel more confident to go out and venture out in the world too. So we're getting back out there.
Let's get back out there, guys. Let's get back out there. I also got my second shot. Woohoo! Team Pfizer. Ooh. And yes, get back out into the world. Do these wonderful things that make you happy. We're getting there, James. We're getting there, and we want to be a part of it for you. There's plenty of amazing films that are coming back that are now going to be only in films, that are only going to be in theaters. Whereas the last year, everything was, VOD and whatnot. I think the movie houses are going to be a lot happier with going, straight to the theaters versus all of the mayhem that had happened over the last year. So we'll see how that all pans out, because VOD was really happy. All of the streaming services were really happy. So those wars are going to continue, and we're going to keep talking about that too.
Perfect. Well, for this week's Hub on Hollywood, I'm James.
I'm Jamie. See you next time.
Bye.